My name is Adrien Jodar-Kozmochka. I'm from Toronto, Ontario, and I've applied to architecture at U of T, Ryerson, Waterloo, UBC, and McGill. Not so long ago, I got accepted on April 22nd for UBC, and then I had basically a week. I had until May 1st to make a decision.
Yes.
So we had to get moving. We decided to book meetings with the TO. Universities let you decide until June 1st. Yeah. All my other choices are saying June 1st, but UBC was saying May 1st. So we had to discuss like what to do because UBC came with an acceptance fee. So that was one thing to consider.
Exactly.
But then we decided that we ended up after the meetings and after the counseling, we decided that it was too great of an opportunity to miss.
Exactly.
So we accepted. One of my goals for this portfolio, and I didn't set myself that many goals because I wanted to be as free as possible, but one of my goals was with every single project I pursue to do it like to the maximum that I could and with deep thought. So I would have long research periods and long periods of thinking about my project before I even started it. Essentially what I'm trying to do with a portfolio is show them as vividly as possible who I am to the university. Usually when I do my research is where I get my ideas also, and it helps me give me tips on like where to start and how to start it. But then when I get into it, it's usually completely different than what there is online and what it's available to me. So I have to rely on like people who can actually perceive my work and help me actively. So like Karen or Rob. I think I started in July, and then in the summer I was able to do one project.
One.
And I think I was able to start another.
Exactly.
It was
because you did the parallettes.
I did the parallettes throughout summer. That was just like July, and then I did the Adam and Eve one.
Exactly.
I started that, and then I finished it in October, something like that.
You failed several times because when you were doing the poppy in paper, you know, when you were trying, you had to do many different tryouts, and at one point you say, I'm gonna give up, but you continue, you persisted, and you were able to come out with the
final design.
Yes, exactly. You know, like Adrien is like this. He starts, you know, very casual, and then he's super sharp focused. And so we were getting up, say, okay, 8 o'clock, we're gonna do this. Like we were in training. Like it felt like we were athletes, you know?
With basically all the projects, it was something new. It was never something I was comfortable with. And I kind of accepted that and embraced that. I don't know why. I just wanted to do it. It got really stressful at one point. I remember we were doing a project for a whole week, like every day.
You had to learn how to watercolor. Because one of his projects was...
I had to learn how to watercolor for one of my projects, build a model.
How to work with acrylic paint, because he never had done acrylic paint. With the acrylic paint, at the beginning, I said, how is he gonna do it? Like, I was really skeptical. I said, oh my God, it's not gonna go like the way he thinks it's gonna go, and etc. But through his own deception and failure, he found a way to make it work. This is where I think his creativity comes out, because he struggles, but he persists, you know, like he doesn't give up.
Like, especially with the acrylic painting, I really had to accept myself that I'm really bad at acrylic painting and just accept it and let myself go. The Virgil Abloh piece, I think I thought about it in November, and then I really started doing it in January because I needed time to research him. He was an extensively wonderful person, and he had like a big life, and I had to research a lot about him and understand him and his projects and everything like that. So after that was done, I was finally able to do it. Like, I think I did the project in 1 week or something like that.
But I think also because you related to him, because his idea of the boyhood is something that touched you, you know, like that it's why you wanted to do this piece, because there's something that you learn through him.
So for UBC, they had almost like essay prompt questions where you had to answer them artistically with a project. And for those 3 projects, those were like probably the hardest to make and the most stressful, because already I spent a month doing like 8 projects for Toronto Metropolitan University and U of T. And so I basically had like no time because the due date was February 15th, right? So that's 15 days after the other. Luckily, I already had an idea for one of them and I made the project. I made one of the projects already for one of the prompts, but I still had 2 projects after February 1st. I still hadn't made at all. For 2 of those prompts, they were both ideas that came from videos that from a long time ago. Because one of the ideas was inspired by the building of Newton Cenotaph, a video that I watched in like 2020. I remember it caught my attention, forgot about it completely, and then out of nowhere it just came back. And it was kind of like, it just kind of connected together. And the same thing happened when trying to find a pet to fit into my domicile, trying to find a unique pet that I could choose. I made a list of pets that I could take. So I decided to choose ants as my pet of choice for a number of reasons, one of them being for the rarity. Nobody really owns ants. I realized that there was this one video that I watched a long time ago about this guy making like really cool ant domiciles for his ants. And then for the Colosseum, I think it's one of those things again where it's like just observing everyday life and like relating it to my projects. Because I think I was on YouTube and I saw this video of, oh, this is actually how the Colosseum like functioned back in ancient Rome. And then the connection happened, right? A connection between how the Colosseum's an inverted mountain and basically how a number of ants, they like to dig deep, and how really like the Colosseum would be a perfect viewing point to see ants, their tunnels, and everything like that. It sounds really weird when I just say it. It'll make sense when people see it. So my dad helped me a lot in like summer because we had a lot of time, and in terms of like the woodworking projects, he's like really good. He does this for a living most of the time. So he helped me a lot with that. I had a lot of projects that like needed to be finished and they weren't. So he helped me long hours finishing some things that needed to be finished.
But also, as a parent, you need to be prepared, like financially also to be able to give to your child, what Adrien needs. Like I feel very privileged that I've been on the ball since he was born because I've been saving, because it costs, everything has a cost.
Yeah, it was helpful to have somebody to like help you when you're stuck with the poppy at one point. I didn't understand how to bend the paper to make it flow, right? Mm-hmm. And so I got the idea of cutting up the paper because paper is not that stretchable as a material. And then we figured out together how to put these up in a specific manner so it sort of gives it a wave sort of feeling. Yeah, having other people to help you getting unstuck.
Ultimately, you did the work, but you had the support to do it. And I think this was very important because it's not, sure, having your idea in your head is fine, but creating it's something completely different, and it's a different thinking process. And this is also where you realize that you need human, and this is a human being guiding you through this work, because it's daunting.
Yeah, especially when it's new stuff.
Exactly.
Also, being very happy with the results that you get, even though you're not perfect. As mentioned, I'm very perfectionist. And like when I have an image in my head, I need to get it to the image. I need to get whatever I'm creating to that image in my head. We were eating lunch in a Mexican restaurant, and then I just got an email that I got accepted into Waterloo.
Yeah.
And so,
oh my God, we couldn't believe it. Yeah.
And I mean, like, I sound very like unenthusiastic and I like look like it, but I mean like I just need I think I need to have a contrast.
Yeah, no, I think because
I'm too gassed. Like I'm too gassed. I'm getting accepted too much. Somebody needs to decline me. So the whole application process from January to March, no, till January to April.
Yes.
I basically had no life. I was basically just doing my portfolio pieces.
Yes.
And I mean, like, yeah, the results are good, right? I got my offer, but at the same time, I really need to.
Yeah.
You really just need to live your life.
Yes,
like,
exactly. Yeah.
So, like, I guess my word of advice is just like start so early.
Yes, start early.